we didn't push the South Vietnamese to hold elections because we knew Ho Chi Minh would win. He was the only national figure in Vietnam. So the United States is all about free elections. The Vietnamese could have run a free election and Ho Chi Minh would have won. That was our assessment, that he would win. Okay, well, if you're for free elections, it means you don't get the outcome you want. And I wonder if that wasn't a terrible mistake, because the Vietnamese actually can't stand the Chinese, so they were always going to be a counterbalance to the Chinese. But due to the McCarthy era, we'd purged all of our China experts, all these children of missionaries who knew a great deal about China, less so about Vietnam, but at least it's a related cultural group. So we had gotten rid of all that expertise in the McCarthy era. So we're running blind in Asia.
After Germany and Japan surrendered, if they tried to elect another fascist party, we wouldn't have been like, all right, well, that's what you guys voted for. They're in charge now. We would have, And so, why is the principle different in Vietnam?
Because the South Vietnamese would have voted for him as well. We've just been fighting a massive war with Japan and Germany. There's no way we're going to let the Germans or Japanese decide anything initially. But what we did do for both Germany, our half, the West Germany and Japan, is we did our best to set up democratic institutions that within a cycle or two, they're making their decisions, whom they're electing. We are not choosing their leaders. And it was a very generous peace. It was realizing in World War I, ostracizing Germans, ostracizing Russians. It probably doesn't. You need to bring them back into the family of nations, because they're on the planet. They're not leaving the planet. And the generous peace with Germany, look at them. They're the most wonderful allies, as are the Japanese. They're terrific.
During the Cold War, the USSR is constantly funding these communist parties around the world, and these parties are doing like exactly their bidding. Whatever Stalin says, they'll do.
I don't know about that.
Well, yeah, feel free to clarify. But it doesn't feel like any other country managed to pull this off. There's not like an American party in the French Parliament that does exactly what the president would tell them to do.
No,
How'd they pull this off?
I don't think it's that they did exactly what anyone wanted. What the communists have is a really powerful doctrine for how you go from nothing to something in a failing state, how you start out with a bunch of people on some campus. Mao literally starts out as a junior librarian in Beijing University. So I don't know, he's there with the librarians, I don't know, the ladies, who knows what it is. It's probably guys in those days. And then he's turning these people into cadres and eventually to guerrillas and eventually conventional army. But they have a really good program that works the world over, and it's very effective for taking power within a broken state. It's lousy at producing prosperity thereafter, right? And you look at the Communist Party today, they're really good at staying in power. For a while there, under Deng Xiaoping, it ran in parallel what the economic reforms needed to be to produce wealth and what the party needed in order to be more powerful. But now that's running at cross purposes, because for the party to maintain its monopoly, well, all these much more educated Chinese aren't going to be interested in that anymore. And so it's time to lock those people up, and then you're going to have trouble with keeping your economic growth rate going.